Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole Russo, taking a look at the Spa Baby Race for Saturday, July the 20th. It's the kickoff leg of the $1 Pick 6 at Saratoga. It's race number 7, and here's the field. We're going 3/4 of a mile. These are some very promising 2-year-old colts. We only have one horse with prior experience. The number 5, Perfect Force, finished 4th in a race at Churchill Downs, and we've seen Wayne Lucas pop at prices with second out maidens at the Spa.
Absolutely. They often improve with a little bit of experience because Wayne Lucas doesn't mind getting beaten running a horse fit. So he can certainly take a step forward. That said, a lot of very well bred first time starters from prominent programs and other trainers who like to surprise you at a price in this race.
This
It's a
is
really fun race these Saturdays at Saratoga.
really the epitome of what Spa Babies is all about. The potential stars of tomorrow, blue blood horses out of blue blood barns. We'll start things off with the number 1, Cooper. This is a Godolphin colt by Nyquist, who's one of my favorite under the radar sort of stallions. He wins 17%. That's a high number with 2-year-old first time starters. The dam's a full sister to Indulgent, who won the grade 3 Gopher Wand, and she's a half to the wonderful Frosted, a multiple grade 1 stakes winner. The question is, will Cooper want a little bit more ground, and how intimidating will this inside post be for Junior Alvarado and Bill Mott?
The inside post is always something we talk about with these first time starters, particularly because they can get so, sometimes overwhelmed just by kind of everything that's going on race day, by going in the gate with that many other horses, that sometimes it puts them back on their heels a little bit. They've really got to get away from the gate well to kind of avoid some of that intimidation factor. And you can always give young horses a mulligan for that. I do think that, I sure wouldn't want to see Cooper going any shorter than 6 furlongs. I think they've probably spotted him well here. You talked about Nyquist, and I mean, really, what else do we have to say about 2-year-old champion Nyquist with his own 2-year-olds? And this is a beautiful family, as you referenced. It's also the extended family of Midshipman, a champion 2-year-old himself.
And the dam's only winner that she's foaled is a pretty good one. Jefferson Street, also trained by Bill Mott, recently popped a triple-digit Beyer speed figure and looks like he has some promise in the 3-year-old division. The number 2 is Authentic Gallop, going out for Tom Amos and Tyler Gaffalione. This horse has a wonderful pedigree, a $300,000 yearling, a half to grade 3 stakes winner Copian, and Amy's Flatter and Amy's Gizmo. This dam has foaled 7 debut winners, so we expect precocity. What should we expect from the Authentics?
Well, the Authentics, it's very interesting. Of course, Authentic, winner of that pandemic delayed Kentucky Derby in 2020. He was a horse who kind of got better as the year went on. He really benefited by some of that year's Triple Crown races being delayed, and he went on to be the Breeders' Cup Classic and be Horse of the Year. He was a horse who had a lot of natural speed, but then, as I just said, developed as he, kind of went on through the year. So I do expect his runners to have some speed. He's already got a couple of winners, but I wouldn't be surprised if they really start coming on more into the fall and into their 3-year-old year. I wouldn't panic by his, relatively slow statistics so far compared to some of his other freshman sire peers.
And you have to figure this colt is plenty fit, having breezed all the way back consistently since the middle of April, and it really looks like he started to pick up the pace in his recent breezes. The 3 is Dapper Moon, going out for Dallas Stewart and Ricardo Santana, and we've seen Dallas Stewart do well at Saratoga with Louisiana-bred 2-year-olds in the past, and this one breezed a furlong in 10 prior to selling for $100,000 as an April 2-year-old by Malibu Moon, with some sprint and class on the bottom.
Yeah, and this will be the final crop for Classic Sire Malibu Moon, who has had his fair share of Grade 1 winning 2-year-olds, including champion Declan's Moon. And as you said, Dallas Stewart loves to surprise them at a price. This horse had some good works at Churchill Downs, and then a very strong work last Saturday at Saratoga, third best of 64 at the distance. I feel like this one is sitting on go.
His dam one sprinting on the dirt and has foaled two winners from as many runners. The 4 is Incentive Pay. Chad Brown trains. Joel Rosario rides. A $315,000 yearling by Volatile. The dam was a sprint winner. She's a half to a grade 3 stakes winning router at Monmouth. Let's talk a little bit about Volatile. He was a rocket ship as a racehorse.
Absolutely. Volatile, a grade one winner himself at Saratoga, sprinting from a beautiful family that's just full of speed. Lady Tack and others coming from that female family. The Volatile sold very well last year as yearlings. Three Chimneys really supported him with some good mares. Other supporters sent, some nice books to him. And that resulted in really nice, physically built yearlings who sold well above their, stud fee. He really gave a great ROI to breeders, and two winners so far for Volatile.
Perfect Force is the 5. We discussed him briefly in the opener because he's the only horse in the race with previous experience. He has sold well twice. A $550,000 weanling, a $625,000 yearling by the excellent Gun Runner, and as you can see, a half to a couple of grade 2 stakes winners going long. That being said, there's versatility in the pedigree because Dam was a grade 2 stakes place dirt sprinter. I think this horse comes on from the experience in the debut at Churchill, going a short 4.5.
Absolutely. I think 4.5 probably was just too short for this one. Not that far off the mark when fourth. I do think he can take a step forward second time out. Gunrunner, of course, terrific with his 2-year-olds, a record setting freshman sire a couple of years back. And while the majority of his grade one winners are at 2 turns, he does have, of course, the terrific sprinters like Echo Zulu, Gunite, another one this year winning the grade 1 Churchill Downs. So plenty of speed there from the gun runners.
The number 6 is Ranger Battalion, the second debut runner in the race, trained by Bill Mott. Jose Lascano will ride this homebred Peachtree stable owned son of Omaha Beach, a half to a stakes winning turf rider. Omaha Beach has shown a lot of precocity as a sire. His progeny went 23% right out of the box at 2. There's some speed in the bottom of this pedigree as well, and some zippy works.
Yeah, that's what I highlighted here. 4 of his last 5 works, he either worked the bullet or the second fastest work of the morning. As always, I'd encourage you to check out the Clocker reports produced by our colleague Mike Walsh and his team up before the sun every morning at Saratoga. They'll tell you not just that this horse is working fast, but how he's accomplishing it, which is just as important. But when I see a horse with a string of quick works like this, I really think like, wow, this horse is just naturally and consistently fast. And Omaha Beach, you mentioned, was among last year's leading freshman sires in a pretty tight race. His 2-year-olds run.
Mott trains 2 firsters in this race. So does Todd Pletcher. He has the 7B Real. This is a son of Curlin that sold for $300,000 as a yearling. The dam was precocious. A debut winner, a grade 2 stakes winning dirt sprinter. The second dam had a lot of class. So with these connections and this pedigree, you expect this horse to take some money.
Absolutely. But when you look at this horse, overall, the blend of speed and stamina in the family makes me think more middle distances. I kind of would love to see this one out of the Wilson chute a couple more weeks into the meet when 2-year-olds start getting the opportunity to go longer. Of course, we know the Curlins can run all day.
The 8 is Track Ranger. This is a Calumet Farm homebred trained by Brad Cox. Manny Franco picks up the mount. He's by Hightail, who wins a pretty good percentage with 2-year-old first-time starters, 16%. The dam was a 2-year-old grade 3 stakes winning dirt miler. The second dam was a juvenile grade 3 stakes place dirt sprinter. So there is precocity in this pedigree, some long works, a couple of 5-furlong drills leading up to this, and of course you have Brad Cox in your corner.
Absolutely. And, I like those 5-furlong drills when we're talking about these horses going 6 furlongs. We're starting to get into kind of that middle distance sprint now, first time out of the gate. So I like that work pattern to put some foundation into this horse. That's something we definitely start to look for, I think, at this time of year for first time starters, is that longer work tab. And Hightail, a very underrated sire. He has been sneaky good with relatively limited opportunities. He has runners, but he doesn't breed the massive books that some of these other stallions do.
Number 9 is Filoso. This is a son of City of Light, trained by Chad Summers. Dylan Davis takes the mount, a $210,000 yearling by another good debut sire, 18% winners for City of Light. The dam was a stakes-winning turf sprinter. The second dam was a stakes-winning sprinter. So speed on both sides and a very fast work 10 days ago.
Speed on both sides. And, I would really love to see this horse physically when you have the opportunity to look at them in the paddock. City of Light throws terrific physicals. Kenda, I remember being a very well built mare. And City of Light, the sire of champion Juvenile Fierceness last year in just his second crop.
The number 10 is Social Hour, another Todd Pletcher trained runner, a $500,000 yearling by Practical Joke, who wins 15% with 2-year-old debut runners. The dam won a couple of dirt sprints. The second dam was a graded stakes place sprinter. It's the family of Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, Albertus Maximus. I really liked some of these workouts for Social Hour. Is it interesting to you that Velasquez is on the other one and Brian Hernandez is on this one, or is we just splitting hairs?
I think we're splitting hairs a little bit. I think it's a function of the ownership a little bit too. Mike Rapoli loves to use John Velasquez when he can. Brian Hernandez, doesn't ride for Pletcher often, but I think we're going to see them together a little bit more this summer at Saratoga, just by virtue of proximity. Hernandez, of course, having a terrific year, sweeping the Oaks and the Kentucky Derby, still has the mount on Torpedo Anna coming into this summer at Saratoga. And you want to talk about somebody else who's flying under the radar. Sire Practical Joke. I keep saying it. A grade 1 winning juvenile himself, grade 1 winner at 3, and just rock solid by every measure at this stage of his young career.
And even though I promised my wonderful producer that I wasn't going to forget our formulator fact, lo and behold, I did. So let's go back, if we can, to the 8, Track Ranger, who goes out for Brad Cox. 4 for the last 12, 33%, a $4.33 return on investment, with 2-year-old debut runners sprinting on the dirt at Saratoga. And that'll lead us to our top picks. And maybe I'm swayed by that formulator fact. I like Track Ranger in here. I think he's going to go off at a price because Hightail doesn't have the gravitas maybe with fans as some of the bigger name sires, but he's done pretty well. And I see you have a Ranger Exacta, the 6 and the 8.
Yes. And, just as you mentioned, formulator and the wealth of information it provides handicappers and how you can check it out for some insights into patterns with these first time starters. I'm going to direct you again back to another resource we have at DRF.com, which are those clocker reports, because that is what's swaying me back to Ranger Battalion. Just that string of strong recent works. When a horse is doing that, again, because as a trainer, you're not going to send your horse out there and push them for fast times every single morning. You're trying to maintain them a little, get them ready a little. You don't want to go over the top in the morning. When a horse is working that quickly, that consistently, I think they're just naturally fast. And I would like to see what Ranger Battalion, by a very good 2-year-old sire in Omaha Beach, gives when the starting gates open on a real race for the first time, if he does just have that natural speed to maybe get away from these a little bit.
Perhaps we'll see a star or two for tomorrow, and maybe one for the hopeful towards the end of the meet in this race. 6-8-5-10 for Nicole, 8-10-6-3 for me. Race number 7 at the Spa on Saturday. Kicks off the dollar pick 6. Best of luck.